How you doing? I'm Callan and this is Slapped Ham. The following paranormal disappearances have left historians baffled. But just quickly before we get into it, hit that subscribe button for more mysterious content just like this.
Over the years, a number of paranormal disappearances have occurred in United States national parks. This has led many people to believe that such parks are hotbeds of paranormal activity. One of the most well-known cases begins in 1981, when 14-year-old Stacey Ann Arras rode into Sunrise High Sierra Camp on horseback with a group of several other riders. She went off alone to photograph a nearby lake. She was never seen again, leaving only a camera lens behind. According to paranormal researchers, this case is only one example of mysterious paranormal disappearances that happen frequently in national parks. One theory is that a creature such as Bigfoot has been abducting people from the trails of these parks. Researchers point out that strange disappearances on public lands often have characteristics in common. For example, they've found numerous reports of clothing covered in sticky, unexplained substances, as if the wearers had melted into their clothing. One of the most disturbing aspects of national park disappearances, such as Arras's, is that the United States government doesn't keep track of people who go missing on public lands. Paranormal enthusiasts point to this fact as evidence that something sinister is happening and that the government is covering it up. Considering the highly bureaucratic nature of most national governments, it certainly seems unusual that these records do not exist. Despite the case's cult following, we may never know the truth about what really happened to Stacey Ann Arras. Many paranormal disappearances throughout history have taken place in the same location, the sky. Most people have heard the stories of Amelia Earhart and Malaysia Airlines Flight 370. However, an Australian pilot named Frederick Valentich disappeared under circumstances that make these other stories seem downright normal. Valentich was a pilot with big aspirations. He sought to become a commercial pilot or join the Royal Australian Air Force, but lacked the qualifications for either. On October 21, 1978, he was doing a training exercise over the Bass Strait. At around 7 PM, he notified air traffic controllers that he was being followed by another aircraft. However, no other craft was reported to be in the area. Valentich reported that the other aircraft seemed to be toying with him by flying in circles around him. The air traffic controllers asked Valentich to attempt to identify the aircraft that was following him. He answered by stating, "It isn't an aircraft." Those listening reported hearing a metallic scraping sound. The transmission then cut off. Valentich was never heard from again. Later that evening, others nearby reported seeing a green light moving erratically in the sky. Observers believed the light to be a UFO. Valentich also mentioned a green light while reporting the mysterious aircraft that followed him. Additionally, a local UFO enthusiast group claimed that a photograph taken by a local appearing to show an object flying out of the water near where Valentich disappeared provides further evidence that extraterrestrials were responsible for the mysterious disappearance. UFOlogists assert that extraterrestrials either shot Valentich's plane from the sky or abducted him from the aircraft. Valentich himself was a staunch believer in UFOs. He regularly watched films about aliens and collected articles about UFOs. Previously, he had even claimed to have seen UFOs in the air while flying. Valentich told his family that he worried about what would happen if he ever had a close encounter with an alien craft while piloting. Some claim that he faked his own disappearance or that it was a simple accident. Others insist a UFO is to blame. A family of 11 losing their home to a fire is tragic. Having it happen on Christmas Eve is heartbreaking. However, when investigators can find no evidence of several of the bodies in the aftermath, the case becomes highly unusual. On Christmas Eve 1945, this is exactly what happened to the Sodder family. Their West Virginia home caught fire. The parents and 4 of the 9 Sodder children were able to escape the blaze. The family assumed that the other 5 had perished in the fire. The house took approximately 45 minutes to burn completely and collapse. The local fire department didn't arrive at the scene until the next morning. There were limited firefighters available because of World War II. In the meantime, the surviving family members began to sort through the ashes of their destroyed home. Much to their surprise, they were unable to locate the bones of the children that failed to escape the house. The firefighters told the family that the fire had most likely been so hot that the bodies had burned up completely. However, it's almost impossible to burn human bones to ash. The official investigation concluded that it had been an electrical fire, but the family insisted that their Christmas lights had still been on when they escaped the home. The report also revealed that the home's phone line had been cut, leading the family to suspect arson. The family had also received a mysterious phone call earlier in the night, in which the Sodder mother heard a disturbing laugh, adding another layer of mystery to the case. If the 5 missing children were not killed in the blaze, what happened to them? The answer to this question remains a mystery. Many history books teach that Jamestown was the first colony to be established in what is now the United States. However, before the Jamestown settlers ever set foot on the North American continent, another group of colonists arrived and established the colony of Roanoke. Unfortunately, this colony is another of the most baffling paranormal disappearances in history. The colony was settled on Roanoke Island off the coast of what is now North Carolina. A group of men arrived and successfully set up the colony before returning home across the ocean. Hoping to create a more permanent settlement, Roanoke's patron, Sir Walter Raleigh, sent a second group consisting of men, women and children. The group of approximately 150 colonists arrived in Roanoke in July 1587. The colonists quickly realised that they hadn't brought along enough supplies to survive in the new colony. Roanoke's new governor, John White, reluctantly agreed to return to England in late August, leaving the colonists to continue building the settlement in his absence. Unfortunately, shortly after White landed in England, the Spanish Armada attacked the British. Because of the raging battles, White was unable to return to Roanoke for 3 years. When he made it back to the New World, he was shocked at what he found. Or rather, he was shocked at what he didn't find. The colony was deserted. He searched for any sign of life or clues to what could have happened. The only bit of evidence was the word Croatoan carved into a nearby tree. Historians have been unable to unravel this cryptic clue. Many skeptics provide simple explanations. The colonists died of starvation or disease or were attacked by local Native American tribes. However, important questions remain. If the colonists died of natural causes, what happened to their bodies? If every one of them were afflicted, at least a few bodies would have been found. Additionally, if they had been attacked, why were there no signs of struggle? These questions have yet to be answered, leaving the fate of Roanoke shrouded in mystery. Before we get to that number 1 spot and take a look at an entire battalion in World War I that completely vanished, remember to hit that subscribe button and turn on channel notifications. That way you'll get updates about all our latest content. War is the perfect backdrop for the paranormal. Some of the world's most haunted locations are former battlegrounds. However, it isn't often that you hear about an entire battalion vanishing into thin air. This is exactly what happened on the Gallipoli Peninsula in 1915. In August of that year, the Sandringham unit of the British military was instructed to carry out an offensive under vague orders. The mission's objective was unclear. Additionally, many of the men were sick from travelling, so the mission was not an easy one. During the advance, the battalion accidentally took a wrong turn and was separated from the other units taking part in the offensive. They decided to press on and continue to the location they were instructed to attack. Unfortunately, they soon found themselves under a barrage of machine gun fire. In an attempt to take cover from the bullets, the entire battalion ran into the nearby trees, even though much of the forest was on fire from the shooting. The battalion disappeared into the smoke and was never seen again. Many assumed that the group had been captured and kept as prisoners of war. However, the enemy denied any knowledge of the missing battalion. After the war, when the British government made efforts to recover the bodies of as many fallen soldiers as possible, no evidence of the unit was ever found. Years later, eyewitnesses came forward with a truly bizarre account. The witnesses claim to have seen strange clouds hovering over the battlefield, unmoving in the high winds. According to the witnesses, they saw the battalion run into one of the mysterious clouds. The cloud was so thick that they lost sight of the men. While the battalion was within the cloud, it rose into the air, seemingly taking the soldiers with it. Did the entire battalion get killed or taken prisoner during the war, or were they the victims of one of history's most bizarre paranormal disappearances? Unfortunately, we may never know.
If you want more mysterious paranormal stories just like these ones, check out that content right there. Leave us a comment down below or hit that thumbs up button. And that's it for me. I'll see you all next time.